So Richard Dreyfuss is a nice guy. Seems to be. He's 5'4".
The people we run into.
He's got the syndrome. Little man.
The people we run into.
Glenn probably doesn't like me talking about his guests like that, but I never see Glenn. He doesn't talk to me anymore.
You know who I miss? Rob Schneider.
Yeah, that was another eccentric little dude.
Do you? I think there's a requirement that you have to be at least a little bit eccentric to be in Hollywood.
I guess. I mean, after you've had that kind of, I can understand after you've had a lot of attention your entire life. I mean, Richard Dreyfuss won the Academy Award for Best Actor in, I think, 1978 or 79. At the time, he was the youngest to ever win.
Really?
The Academy Award at 30 years and 125 days. And before that, it was Marlon Brando.
Do you actually really know this?
Marlon Brando was 30 years and 360 days. At the time, he was the youngest to ever get an Academy Award.
Why do you know this?
Well,
Richard Dreyfuss is still the shortest to ever win an Academy Award. Shortest man at 5'4". So,
how do you know this?
I know everything. Guys, never underestimate my ability to pull trivial bullshit out of my ass. But it's true. You can
That's what
Google
I'm saying.
that.
Like this is real. This is a
real.
real fact.
That's real.
How random that you know
Thank
that
you.
and can just rattle off the number of days these people are old.
He was 30 years and 100 and something days, or something like that. I can't remember the exact days for Richard Dreyfuss, but I do know Marlon Brando was 30 years and 360 days.
Almost to 31.
Almost to 31 years.
Wow.
And then the girl, I can't think of her name. She was 30 years and like something days, 20 days when she won the Academy Award. So she took the thing.
So no 29-year-olds. No one in their 20s.
No one in their 20s has won an Academy Award for Best Actor or Actress.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then The Goodbye Girl is what he won the Best Actor for. And those of you who are wondering why we're talking about Richard Dreyfuss is because he's in the room right next to us. Right here.
Yeah.
The weird little dude. You know, it's funny. You come in here and you think, man, sometimes you like to take a picture with some of these people, and then you get around them and you're like, no, because they're just not being nice. Whatever. Check out Glenn's podcast and see if he straightened his ass up for the conversation. In other news, Glenn Beck will not be joining us this week.
Womp, womp,
yeah. So now let's talk about a tall man syndrome. Glenn's 6'3", and I don't know what his problem is. I guess it rained in Texas today, but Glenn's decided not to make an appearance on the Chad Prather Show. We've been relegated back to nothingness.
It has been a day, I will say.
So we're taping this on. You're seeing this on Wednesday night. We're taping this on Tuesday morning because we can, and we had tornadoes. I literally woke up underneath a tornado. Yeah. You were in your closet.
Mm-hmm. It was right next to me.
I was in the bed, kept yelling, "Sarah, get out of the closet!" And I got up and I was like, you know what, this weather pattern, I turned on the TV and the guy was literally pointing at where my hotel was.
Right where he was. You sent me a screenshot. And then, of course, you're getting the sirens going off and they're saying, seek shelter immediately on the first floor. I'm like, are you on the first floor? He just responds, second. I'm like, go downstairs, Chad.
Yeah. And I went downstairs. I got in my Bronco and I drove to the studio.
Oh, my God.
It's not my time. It's not my time.
Just like a man.
Yeah, so
I'll be fine.
I drove to the studio. The power was off. Chris Cruz was somewhere. He was at Stu Bergier's house.
That's what
I told
what a weird day.
One of our makeup gals, I told her, I said, well, Chris is at, she's over at Stu's. And she's like, why? And I said, don't ask for logic when it comes to Chris Cruz. He was driving south. He couldn't go any further. And so he popped into Stu's house to annoy Lisa, Stu's wife, Lisa Page. How'd that go?
Not only I knowed his wife, but I drank his last Monster.
Wow.
That's going to go over well.
So,
wow.
What's funny is like, the reason why I ended up in Stu's house was because I lost GPS signal as I was talking to you, trying to figure out where the heck I was, and I didn't know where I was, so I kept driving that way.
Were you lost in the tornado? Were you in Kansas anymore?
That's what I said. So I was like, I'm going to keep going until I recognize
a wicked little bitch on a bike pedaling?
And then I recognized a place, and I was like, I think this is where Stu lives. And I kept driving. I called Lisa. She's like, I'm stuck too. So it was great.
Okay.
Well, Glenn did say it was the first time in his like network career that they had a power outage that, I mean, we went down, because usually they have backups for radio.
Right.
And his show just went completely down off the air.
Well, they were playing, tuned it over to Triumph on 111 on Sirius XM. And I was listening to, and I was like, I've heard this interview already. And so they were playing, I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, they were replaying.
They were playing a replay from
I wondered what they would
week.
do. Yeah, I wondered what they would do. All those radio producers were scrambling, trying to figure out what to do. And then I know, it was completely black in the studio. And I think Mark and Chance were playing cornhole, just trying to pass the time. There's nothing else to do.
Circle jerking, cornhole, whatever.
I mean, it was a weird morning.
And then, of course, Chris said, well, Glenn's not going to do your show today. And I said, well, he didn't work this morning. What is he? Is he tuckered out? Does he have to get out of bed? What's the deal? I mean, he's added a third security person now. It's like, come on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got 3 heavies around him now. Anyway, I wanted to tell you guys, I'm pretty chill today. So, headed into the holidays, and I told you guys, juice guys, we were going to ask Glenn some questions.
Right.
So we're going to answer them for him. All right?
No.
So you guys ask the questions. Yes. First of all, if you go to chartable.com and you type Chad Prather Show at the top, it's dismal, actually. What you will find that I'm currently ranked 132nd in politics category podcasts. I'm down 19 spots.
Which I still disagree. I think that's a bad category for you to be in.
They show you based on the highest one you're ranked in.
Okay.
So I'm politics, news, and comedy. Comedy is never a podcast category you want to be in because everybody has this isn't a comedy podcast.
No. I mean, it's funny.
We say stupid stuff, but this isn't a comedy. Like, a lot of people come in here and go, well, we'll do something funny. And I'm like, buy a ticket to a show. Believe it or not, I can be multifaceted. And I like to talk about culture on here, and sometimes we make fun of it, but it's not a comedy podcast. Mm-hmm. We don't sit around talking to comedians. And so I don't really want to be in that category, but news and politics. So I always wanted us to be in the news category, actually.
I'm in news commentary.
Yeah. And the commentaries get weird. But anyway, it's 132nd, which is a great rank when you consider all the politics podcasts in the world.
Yes.
And, but 132nd, we were like 85th last week. And that, why we dropped is because of you guys. You guys listening to the show and watching the show. That and the fact that I'm not Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro. And you know what? In the grand scheme of things, I'm actually thankful I'm neither one of those men.
I was going to say, I'm glad about that.
Yeah, I'm neither one of those men. No disrespect to them. I like being me. Mm-hmm. But I'll read you a couple of comments. Chad Prather for governor.
Amen.
This is from Birdman 30. My profession is to listen to podcasts, 8 hours a day, 40 a week. Several months ago, I pulled my left eardrum, which almost cost me my livelihood and life. In despair, and on my last rope, I heard a killer guitar riff and a southern accent. The Chad Prather Show on Blaze saved my eardrum, my bank account, possibly my life. I've been watching and listening ever since. I also live in blah, 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 in the Houston Sugarlands Woodlands Metroplex, so that's another positive for our next governor. 5 stars, nay, 12 stars for this fine show of drinking, cussing, but most importantly, common sense. Ask Glenn Beck. Each year, the GB radio show has a different intro song. How are you inspired to come up with it? What informs that decision? What's that?
Yeah.
Sarah Sullivan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah Sullivan.
His radio
producer. Director, yeah. Well, it was an interesting little thing is I don't know who did his current deal, but then back during the summer, I think he went in and had like some Philharmonic deal, re-record that deal in a big orchestra thing. And which I thought was better because honestly, I didn't like it the other way.
I did like it the other way. I like it better with the orchestra, but I loved his new intro music.
Well, I didn't like the song at all.
Really?
I still don't.
Really?
Yeah, it's just me.
I like it.
Stand up.
I mean, I just like the beat. I'm just, listen, you're talking to a person who's been dying to get rid of their intro music since the first
yours
day.
Sucks.
It's horrible.
Do you still have the same intro music?
Yes, it's so bad. And I mean, before they gave it to me and I was just like, so about this, not sure that I love it. And they were like, we're running with it.
Yeah, yours sounds like somebody's about to get murdered in a slasher movie. I don't like yours at all.
It's too serious.
I mean, I can't change mine. I won't change mine. I'm tired of mine.
Yeah. It's really good, though.
Is it?
It does fit your vibe, at least.
It fits. And it's like, but I always get tired of everything. Like, I want to change the studio around.
Don't you dare tell them that until they're done with mine.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do it. My studio's the best studio.
Yeah, it is.
And then there's, let's go to another. It says, more reviews. Tell me how great I am. Love your show. This is from Linda, 1999. Truck driver here. Your show's amazing. Constantly listening to your show. Finally caught up after 6 months of listening while driving through the county. Questions for Glenn and you, Chad. Why do people dislike Kevin McCarthy? He seems like a good congressman, and I don't get why people don't like him. I understand why people don't like McConnell. I see the difference. Well, Kevin McCarthy's he's a political shill. He's going to do whatever the powers that be tell him to do. And that's the problem when you have a Speaker of the House. He's appointed, right? And and the people who appoint him are ultimately the ones who are in control. That's why, like in Texas, we have Speaker of the House Dade Phelan, who is appointed ultimately by a conglomerate of Democrats in Texas. And so he's kind of controlled by that group. And same thing with Kevin McCarthy, not on the Democrat side, but he's got the big government. You talk about McConnell. I mean, he's going to be the one in charge.
I also think I have a problem with any Republican leader who continues to vote to send money to Ukraine.
Right. Same.
I think that's okay.
And that's just a telltale sign right there.
Yes. Right. But you need someone a little bit more charismatic and willing to really start fires, I think, as the leader of the party than Kevin McCarthy is.
Yeah.
Just my personal opinion.
If Texas somehow falls to the metastatic cancer of liberalism, such as, and this is Cajun conservative, such as Cali, New York, Michigan, Illinois, et al., it will be because Texas didn't elect Chad Prather as governor. Mark my words, God's flag was planted in Texas. If we lose it, America will be lost. Merry Christmas. That's Jeremy in Virginia. God bless you.
I agree.
Or Jeremy, Virginia. I don't know if that's in Virginia or if that's your last name. I don't know.
Then are you tired?
Skylar Curtis. No, I'm just subdued.
You are very subdued.
I survived a storm.
You drove into the storm.
That's what I do. CJ sent me a text message. She said, "What are you going to do today?" I said, "Kick ass." She said, "I have no doubt." So there's not an episode that goes by that I missed. Chad's approach to politics, comedy, entertainment truly resonates with each listener. Now, Glenn, I think it's time to ask you a question. Why wouldn't you give this amazing content creator for the Blaze a raise, a primetime show, and maybe an office in the executive suite? If you've ever seen my dressing room, they don't want to give me anything anywhere that people might see.
Do you want an office in the executive suite?
No.
I don't either.
No. I came in here while the power was out, and I enjoyed it because I took a nap on my couch. And it was fantastic. There was a lot of you wanted to ask questions about Glenn's Mormonism. The answer is yes. All of those. He is a Mormon, and yes, he does read the Book of Mormon. But so the purpose of, is there a book? This was from CT in Texas. Says, Glenn, I hear you're a Mormon and do go to a Mormon church. And what are your beliefs about the Bible? And is there a Mormon Bible like the Book of Mormon that you believe in? You nailed it. You answered that question. Yeah, there is. And the pearl of great price. Let me tell you something Mormons don't do. They don't love drinking wine over the holiday season like I do.
But we do.
We sure do. And if you want to find high-quality, delicious wines at an affordable price, well, I have some great news for you. For 200 years, a few small families deep in the Andes Mountains have been making a dark red wine unlike anything you've ever tasted. These wines are made in such small quantities, many would normally not make it to the U.S., but the guys over at Bonner Private Wine Partnership have partnered with these families to bring this never-before-imported wine to wine lovers in the U.S. Whether you're preparing a large feast for the holidays or something more intimate, either calls for an awesome bottle of wine or have a couple of bottles. The food is bound to be fantastic, so you'll need something special to go with it. These extreme altitude wines are sure to be a hit and have one heck of a story behind them to tell over the dinner table. They come from the world's most remote wine regions, 9,000 plus feet in elevation. It's a hidden wine valley. It's known as, I can't even say that word, Calcaqui. Calcaqui.
That was good.
I tried. At first, you'll get a hint of smoke. Then comes the blackberry, the herb, the leather, and hint of charred earth drifting across my palate and an incredible rugged mouthfeel. You ever had a mouthfeel? Plus, no oak extracts or dyes, no excess sugar, and none of the fillers the mass market wine industry uses in wines from the grocery store. Now, up until now, you'd have to travel thousands of miles, drive 5 hours into treacherous dirt roads just to get your hands on a single bottle. But today, I've arranged special access for my audience to be among the first Americans to reserve this rare supply of extreme altitude wine. Go to BonnerPrivateWines.com/Chad. You're going to get top quality extreme altitude wine, huge discount, perfect for the holiday meal. Order today. You not only get the discount, but complimentary shipping, and you'll get a bonus bottle of small batch limited production wine from their exclusive cellar. 4 bottles for the price of 3. Go to BonnerPrivateWines.com/Chad and get your wine today. We'll be right back. All right. Did you have any takeaway from that last Twitter drop or anything? Because it's all white noise to me at this point.
Really?
Yeah, it's all white noise. Like it's like you don't have to really show me anymore because you're just saying what I already knew.
We already knew, right?
And so now you're just proving what we already knew.
It's true, but I mean, I do think it's important that we do have the evidence.
Oh yeah, I think that's important. I'm not saying it's unimportant. I'm just not paying attention to the details right now because it's like, yeah. It's just more of the crap we've already known.
Right.
So
And will anything? I mean, like it's like, well, there will be no repercussions for it. I mean, it probably won't happen moving forward with Elon Musk at the helm, but it's still happening on YouTube, probably quadruple what it is happening or was happening on Twitter. It's still happening on Facebook. There are still other places where that same kind of crap is happening, multiplied. So it's like...
Now, what I love to see is when they go back and they show like Jack Dorsey before Congress.
Right.
And they're grilling him saying, so you're saying there's no shadow banning of conservatives. And he says, no. Mm-hmm. Liar.
Right.
You know you're a liar.
But... Again, unless they bring him in and he has some sort of consequence for perjury, what does it matter?
That's right. So that's my issue. I stole a meme from Don Trump Jr. and put it on my Facebook. And it says, the government is corrupt, but yet you're going to trust the government to investigate the government.
Right.
They're not. All they're going to do is keep having these hearings, and they're not going to do anything about it.
No.
Right? At the end of the day, nobody's ever held accountable. There's no consequences for that thing. Now, we did see that yesterday that whatever Freed dude got arrested. The
Bankman-Fried, Sam Bankman-Fried.
Bankman-Fried. Mm-hmm. I'm sick of people with 3 effing names, okay? Karine, Jean-Pierre, Jean-Paul, whatever her damn name is. I can't keep up.
It is weird for him to have one because he's a male.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand the women with hyphenated...
But she's not married.
No, well, no.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand
Jean-Pierre?
I don't understand hers either.
Well, she's French. It's a French name.
I know it's a French name, but
she comes from somewhere French.
I've heard her talk. She doesn't sound very French.
No, but Sam Bankman-Fried, like it looks like he smells.
He does.
I mean, this dork, and they found him in the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. So basically, that's where they've been laundering money through this cat, right? And Ukraine's putting the money back with him, and then it comes right back to somebody here.
Yeah, the Democrats.
Mm-hmm. The DNC.
Yeah.
These people are crooked, man. They are crooked. You can't tell me. So my point is, if you have this unchecked, unfettered, no accountable government that's out here, the Uniparty. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, but if you're a part of the Uniparty, and you know they're corrupt, and they know there's no consequences, they know there's going to be nothing that's going to happen to them, and you know that absolute power corrupts absolutely, What the hell do you think's going to get? Well, of course they're going to do these things, right? There's no corruption charges against anybody that runs social media platforms or our government, Yeah. And so I'm like, at least Richard Nixon resigned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, Tom.
You're very black-pilled right now.
Yeah, is that a bad thing?
No, I mean, I think it's just being real at this point.
Yeah.
I think you're just a realist. It's like, how many times have we seen right under our noses Hillary Clinton? Like all of these politicians in high places get away with all of these things that we know are going on, and nothing happens. Mark Zuckerberg can perjure himself to Congress. Jack Dorsey can perjure himself. Anthony Fauci can perjure himself. All of these people can do that, and ultimately, if there are no consequences, what does it even matter?
Yeah. And these things keep happening over and over and over again. And again, look at Nancy Pelosi. Mm-hmm. Nancy Pelosi becomes worth $120 million while she's in Congress.
Yeah, conveniently enough. And she's making how much? $175,000?
Yeah.
Do that math.
Barack Obama can go out and buy a $15 million mansion on Martha's Vineyard. Yeah. And again, he wrote a book. Me too. No, I wasn't president of the United States, but yeah, that's one book, couple of children's books. I mean, he's written like 3 biographies of himself.
Has he?
3 autobiographies. So they claim.
I would be willing to wager a large amount of money that I know 0 people who have any of his books.
Have you ever read any of Michelle Obama's books?
Absolutely not.
No.
I don't know anyone who has.
Listen. Dave Rubin sends me his books. I haven't read those. Like, I'm kidding. I have actually, but Don't Burn This Country is an excellent book.
It's a really good book.
You should, honest to God, read it. I'm kidding.
So is Am I Crazy by Chad Prather.
It's okay.
Good one too.
It's okay.
I like it.
The first and last chapter, worth the price of the book. But you should probably get it right now for Christmas gifts.
Yep.
Wasn't somebody supposed to come to the studio today to get them signed?
Yeah.
Did they not?
Did you not get my text?
No. Did he show up?
Yeah, and I texted you and said, will you go meet him?
I didn't see the text. Where's he at?
I don't know where he is now. He didn't tell me he was leaving.
I did not get that text from you.
I assumed you guys. Well, we'll figure that one out.
Oh. Anyway, don't worry about it. Talk amongst yourselves. My bad. Whoops. Did Glenn sign the books?
Yes.
And I didn't?
Yeah.
Oh, now I feel bad.
I'll text him over the break.
All right.
We'll figure it out. You probably just ruined someone's Christmas, but it's fine.
I didn't get your text. Didn't go through. Either way, Am I Crazy is a great book.
It's so good that we've got people at the studio coming just to get it signed. That's how good it is.
But back on that, I don't know how these people make all this money. But if suddenly I popped off with hundreds of millions of dollars, you'd want to know how that came about. Right. Because I ain't famous. I'm nobody of any significant importance. But all of a sudden, if I'm cruising around with $20 million in my bank account, you're going to go, well, what did he do to get that? Why do we let these politicians get away without ever asking those questions? Mm-hmm. And then you say, oh, well, their husband made an investment. Bullshit.
He just happens to be very good at picking all the right investments. And definitely is not getting any inside information from his wife.
I'm pretty active in the stock market. I know a lot of people that are really good, but nobody that I know is that good. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know people who have kind of gotten lucky and won the lottery on the stock market from time to time, but that don't happen.
Right.
Investing is a long-term, you know what I'm saying, residual growth kind of thing. You don't just pop off on a penny stock and suddenly tomorrow it's worth $500,000.
Right.
Some people get lucky like that, very few. You know, if I could go back in time and I knew what Yahoo, Amazon, and, Apple was, or, something like that, Intel, I could go back and, buy it when it was at 30 cents a share.
Right.
But people don't know that. You can't tell me that Paul Pelosi is that big of a genius in the stock market.
No.
Hell no.
No.
Hell no. So anyway, that pisses me off, right? Because again, the IRS, I can't even get the IRS right now. I need my CPA. I give my CPA power of attorney. to be able to go in and pull tax forms every now and then throughout the year. 1099s, things like that, because there's some things that get lost in the mail.
Yeah.
Well, I want to make sure that I've got all the right documentation, because I get a stack of 1099s like that because I go out and do all these venues and do live shows. Every place has a 1099 for me, right?
Oh, geez, I didn't even think about that.
Every place. So
That's
you
a
guys
lot
are
of
like,
1099s.
you guys are like, oh, Chad made XYZ dollars on this show this weekend. No, Chad made half of those XYZ dollars,
Right.
because there's a 1099 coming my way.
You know, I know I've said this before, I am of the very, very firm opinion that if we just got rid of the payroll deduction and everybody had to pay the quarterly taxes or pay them monthly or whatever, but you had to actually write the check to the IRS that we have to write as 1099s, everyone's views on taxes would change.
Probably so.
They don't understand how much is getting taken out of their check.
But I can't even, my CPA, I'm like, hey, have you gotten that? He said, I can't get the IRS to respond to me.
Of course not.
Now, here we are actively trying to give them money.
Right.
And so before I go to prison, let's use this as evidence. So when I'm in court, let's remember that
he was not evading
at
taxes.
the 249 mark of the B block of episode whatever we're in, that Chad Prather said, I am trying to give the IRS money. I don't want to. Taxation is theft. But, I'm being extorted by the U.S. government.
Yep.
And I can't even get my accountant to get, via power of attorney, certain documents that I need to pay them. And he said to me the other day on the phone, he said, it's time for the IRS to just go away and start something new.
No.
Because he said, if you're going to collect taxes, the IRS ain't the way to go.
No,
is
come
the
on.
point he's making.
Well, but what about the new 87,000?
No, none of that. All of that needs to go away.
No, but the new 87,000 of them.
I'm sure they're
going
to make it far more efficient.
They'll fix it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. But no, he was just saying they're done. Like
Of course.
They're a defunct organization. Back during COVID, he said, don't even mail them a check right now, because it's just going to sit in a truck in the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't even send a check right now.
Can you think of one government bureaucracy department that is not defunct?
Oh, they're all bullshit.
They're like they all should. I can't think of one that I don't think should be eliminated.
Yeah, that's what happens when you let the government run things.
Yep.
And everybody's like, oh, but you love your roads. I promise you, I drove through a tornado today. I promise you, if I want to, I'll lock in the hubs. I'll figure out a way to get where I need to go.
I mean, as if private people couldn't get together and figure out how to build a road.
America somehow became a great nation without asphalt.
Right. I
I
mean, private companies, I'm sure, would be more than happy to.
I mean, I know how to put a blanket in a saddle on a horse. I do. And I know how to get somewhere on that horse if I had to.
Right.
But, whatever. So do you keep the notifications on your Upside app so it notifies you?
Yes.
You have to.
Yes.
Right? Because you never know. So like the Upside app will sometimes tell me, hey, you're near a gas station that has this going on or whatever, and you can get a discount on there. And because for a while I just would check it. And I was like, no, you need to turn the notifications on so it'll send you a message. Because the Upside app, pretty awesome. And so, whether it's driving less or dining out less or buying less from the grocery store, everybody's kind of cutting back right now and doing things less. So the Upside app is going to change that for you. This incredible app on your phone, if you buy gas, groceries, if you eat out, you don't have to cut back with Upside because you're going to get cash back on every purchase. And it's amazing the way that you can save money because you don't have to cut back. You're going to earn cash on all your essentials when you buy them. So you download the free Upside app. Use my promo code CHAD. I spell it Chad. You're going to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Next, you can claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside. You check in at the business, pay as usual with a credit or debit card, and then you get paid. And in comparison to credit card rewards or loyalty programs, you can earn 3 times more cash back with Upside. Upside users are earning more than $1 million every week. That's probably why they have a 4.8 star rating on the App Store. Download the free Upside app. Use the promo code CHAD to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of 10 or more. And you heard me right. If you spend $10, you're going to get $5 back, and then it's going to save you a ton of money as you use the Upside app. But don't forget, use promo code CHAD. We'll be right back. You remember the other day when I told you about Elon Musk getting booed at Chappelle's
Yes.
deal. Did you see that clip?
I still haven't seen it.
Play clip number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the richest man in the world.
He's
So
such
waving.
a dork. I don't get it. I mean, these
I
people
heard
are
some
listening.
cheering though.
There's some. Look, I'm
Can
not
you-
gonna cheer or boo the guy. I mean, I appreciate what he's doing though.
How awkward would it be to walk on stage and just people are booing you? Like, what do you do? You've never been booed, right?
No.
What do you do? You're just like, I would not know how to handle that.
I blow him some kisses.
Yeah.
My late grandfather, who was my hero, he was the funniest dude. I am a mixture. People have asked me over the years, they're like, "Are you like your mom or your dad?" And I'm like, neither one really. I'm like a mixture of my grandparents, my maternal grandmother, grandfather. My grandmother, everywhere she went, she knew somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, she went to the World's Fair in Canada and ran into people she knew. I mean, she knew everybody because she did the records department in Augusta, Georgia. So, I mean, she handled everybody's records, their school records, transcripts, and stuff like that. So she ran that department. And then my grandfather, he was a hardworking man, but he liked to have a good time, right? And money burned a hole in his pocket. He was always every Saturday night he'd go to the American Legion, come in about 1:30 in the morning, up for church next day.
This definitely sounds like you.
It's so I never forget, he was a horrible driver. We used to say that when he died that his guardian angels probably breathed the sigh of relief, like they could finally take a break, right? And he was a horrible driver, and we have tons of stories about that. And he cut people off, and this lady was just honking at him one day, just shooting him the bird and all this kind of stuff. And I'll never forget, he's just driving this truck, just going, just blowing her kisses, mwah, like that. And it just pissed her off even more.
I'm sure it did.
So I think that's the proper reaction when people are booing you.
Yeah.
Like that, just blow them some kisses.
Yeah.
Wave at them like Elon was doing. I appreciate what the guy's doing. I still maintain this is one of the biggest scandals ever. But you brought up a good point about COVID. I mean, but they're not going to consider that a scandal.
Well, right. But I think also, I mean, if you're talking about the left, right? If you're talking about legacy media, I think they're not going to consider either of those things scandal.
History's going to look back at it that way. And if you come down to play clip number 3, the CNN clip.
Do you think that Americans and New Yorkers will start putting their masks on, though, after they haven't for so many months?
Yeah, I think so. I think the framework, though, has to be one of individual protection. I think as people see just how much virus there is out there this time of year, when you're in a public place and you're surrounded by strangers, throwing on a mask for 30 minutes while you go shopping is not too much to ask just to protect yourself. Even if you're a healthy person, being sick for a week or two with flu or COVID is not fun.
Yeah. What was that movie, The Bird, whatever, where they blindfolded themselves? That was Sandra Bullock deal.
Oh, yeah.
The Bird Cage or whatever. I don't know what it was. That was a Robin Williams movie. Yeah. Where they couldn't open their eyes or the things would come get them or whatever. Like, this is the way these people act towards the masks. Like, if you take your mask off, it's going to come get you. It's going to attack you. It's going to kill you. You got to stay blindfolded so you can't see it. Mm-hmm. That's what these people are doing. They're encouraging you basically to put your blindfolds back on.
Except in this case, the blindfolds have, you can still see. The blindfolds have holes.
Yeah, they
it's kind
still,
of a transparent blindfold.
The light still gets through.
Yeah.
Play. I love Tony Fauci.
Do you?
You can't get enough.
Really?
You can't get enough. This guy, boy, I tell you. Play that next clip there, Fauci.
Could we have been less restrictive about
Love that guy
schools
too.
and less restrictive about closing down the economy and focused, if not from the very start, earlier on the elderly?
In the absence of vaccination, that would have been very difficult to do. But right now that you have the ability to vaccinate people, you can actually clearly be much more liberal and open in what we're doing, which is where we are really right now. But in the very beginning, when essentially everyone was at risk of infection, you can pass it on to someone else inadvertently, innocently, and have that person suffer a dire consequence. So when you're dealing in the beginning, it was like a tsunami that you needed to shut off quickly and then open up as quickly as you possibly can.
There you go. So he just doesn't regret it.
Of course
There's no
not.
regrets.
Of course not.
I mean, he funded gain of function, whatever. But he economic shutdown. Nah, I don't have any deal on that.
Isn't that also, I mean, I know he talked about the vaccines and he was talking about economic shutdowns, but like, doesn't that vaccine part contradict what that first doctor just said? Because if we have vaccines, why would you need masks as well if the vaccines are doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Yeah. Why would you need them?
Why would you need them?
Why would you need them? Oh, that's right. Play the next clip. Here's your answer.
Can you understand when you say I represent science?
Sure, I can understand how that could have been taken out of context, and I probably had to do it all over again, would have changed the wording a little bit of that. What I was trying to say, Chris, is that what I was doing was saying, here are the data of why vaccines are safe and effective, so we should be getting people vaccinated. So when you're criticizing me, you're actually criticizing the scientific facts, because I'm just the vocal and visible vehicle of the scientific facts. That's what I meant when I was saying you're criticizing science. I wasn't mean to be that, oh, holy me, I'm science. That's not what I was talking about.
Yeah, it's exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly.
You think you're omniscient.
There is no, okay, God, this makes me so mad. There is no scientific fact that you speak of that you could deem a vaccine safe and effective in that little amount of time, because there are no long-term studies. There were none. There were none to be had. It had not been out for long enough. So the idea that you could say it is safe and effective is in itself a complete lie. You don't know that, which of course we're finding out now. Oops. Whoopsies.
What a bastard.
God, he is straight up evil. He's I swear to you, he is the greatest con man in American history.
Yeah. I mean, I want to do a shirt. I'm going to do a T-shirt that just says "Prosecute Fauci."
Yeah.
And I think everybody should wear it.
Yes.
I think millions of Americans, and I should profit from it.
Better hurry up and get that on your website.
Get it on the website. But seriously, I'm sick of this guy. But then again, I don't even want to put. Now, I do have the, I trust Dr. Seuss more than Dr. Fauci shirt, which has sold great over the years. But this guy needs to be in prison. In prison. He is responsible for millions of people's deaths.
I think prison would be a generous
I agree.
sentence for him.
I tend to lean towards the Nuremberg trial suggestion of Steve Deace.
Me as well.
Which, in the next segment, I'm going to talk about Steve Deace because he's done something really, really great. And, yeah. So, did you see the clip? We got to go to a break, but did you see the clip of the Project Veritas where they got that school dean in there talking about handing out dildos and butt plugs to kids and how they're just questioning, well, what do you do with the butt plug and all this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
And then when they confronted him about the deal, and he's like, peace out.
It's like, we did too.
Yeah. Oh, hell no. He was gone. He was gone. But, put him on the gallows next to Fauci.
Yep. And all the rest of them who want to involve kids and all of that.
Yeah, I love it. Listen, I made the list again. I made the list.
Huge congrats.
Thank you. One more time of how I was on the list originally from saying that I'm a bigot because one of the ones with the most have a large follower group and then got the most reactions. I was in the top 8 of people who got the most reactions of using the word groomer. And now they're showing post Elon Musk how my page has grown. And they're basically saying I shouldn't have grown. So it's me, Libs of TikTok, Christine Pashaw, Jack Posobiec, all these guys on there. And so
I'm bummed I didn't make the list.
Just got to say the right shit.
I've been working really hard at it.
Got to say the right shit, Sarah.
Yeah.
You're doing pretty damn good yourself. But they did a follow-up because they don't want us saying things, but they want to make sure that we're put on lists, and we're the problem. They're the party of no free speech and lists. So that's what it is.
No tolerance.
Hey, if you want to get skinny and get your fat-burning metabolism going, boost a little energy, transform how you look and feel, take care of your liver, folks. Your liver is your body's master detoxifier. 500 key functions every day. That's what your liver does. It's responsible for cleaning, cleansing, removing thousands of toxins And fortunately, there is a simple, natural solution that I want to recommend to you. Liver Health Formula. Liver Health Formula contains 12 powerful botanicals that are clinically proven to recharge and protect your liver at the cellular level. It helps restore your liver's detoxifying abilities, boost your energy levels, can kick your natural metabolism into high gear, works remarkably well to fight a fatty liver, which is a silent epidemic amongst millions of Americans. Liver Health Formula is backed by the latest science, approved by American doctors, every bottle manufactured right here in the USA. And as a part of my audience, you can try Liver Health Formula risk-free, receive 5 free gifts when you order today, and you'll receive a free 30-day supply of the nano-powered omega-3. It's a powerful blend of omega-3 fatty acids. It supports a healthy heart and brain, 4 times better absorption thanks to the special nano delivery system. You're also getting 4 free ebooks to support every aspect of your health and longevity, regardless of age. So go to getliverhelp.com/Chad. Claim that risk-free supply of Liver Health Formula. Get all 5 bonus gifts. You're covered by 365 days of a money-back guarantee. So there's nothing to lose. GetLiverHelp.com/Chad or call them 800-282-1757. Be right back. Greenville, South Carolina. I'll be there Friday and Saturday night at the Comedy Zone. Come check us out. I say us like I'm schizophrenic. It'll be me. And
I won't be there. Sorry.
Whoever my support act was. I thought Jesse Payton was going to be there, but he's not. Anyway, I'm going to be there.
See, maybe people are getting confused. They come to your shows and ask where I am because you say us and they think it's me.
You want to join this traveling gypsy caravan? Come on.
I will definitely be at the one in Arlington.
Arlington on the 21st.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. I'm going to just pull everybody up on stage for that thing. Everybody's going to get a minute. On the 21st. And then College Station on the 30th at Stampede. And then we're going to be at Goofy's on the 1st of January. It's New Year's Day.
Where's Goofy's?
Canyon Lake, Texas. It's a cool little venue over there. We're going to have fun. People said, I can't go on the Lord's Day. Then don't. We'll have fun for you. And the Lord will be pleased. Maybe. Steve Dace. So Monday, you didn't get a chance to go. God, I didn't know what to expect.
I was so upset I couldn't go.
So Steve Dace wrote a book called A Nefarious Plot. Mm-hmm. And it's a great little book. Everybody should get it. And I was privileged to go.
It's fiction.
It's fiction. Based on some interesting spiritual reality. But so I was able to go see the advanced screening of his new movie, Nefarious. Now, the makers of this movie, they made a few different other faith-based films like God's Not Dead and Unplanned and things like that. And you know, when you watch those faith-based movies, you know they're faithful movies.
Yeah.
You just know.
Yeah.
They're trying to push a message. And this one, unreal how good this movie is that Steve Dace and these guys have made. I mean, what's his name? Sean Patrick Flannery, the guy who was one of the Boondock Saints, and he followed me on Twitter this morning, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yeah. Was
he there?
No.
Oh.
But his acting in this is as good as I've ever seen anyone ever do. Because the movie, and I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it's heavy dialogue. It's heavy on conversation. And you know how Tom Hanks carried a movie, like in Castaway, there was no dialogue for 45 minutes.
Right.
And he held that movie. Like, that's real acting.
Yeah.
Real cinematography. This movie, unreal how well they held the attention. I mean, I wouldn't get up, go to the bathroom. It was just like you hung on every piece of it. And you didn't feel like you were watching a faith-based movie. This was drama. I mean, this was heavy stuff. So they're looking for distribution and all this, and they're working on that. There's a process to going into these deals. But this is a book that Steve wrote in 2016, and they changed basically nothing from the book to make this movie. And it's relevant today, 2022, heading into 2023. I'll tell you what I hope happens. I hope the Blaze distributes it.
Yeah.
I hope the Blaze gets it. And I don't have any say in that, but I hope they do, because I think that would really be some next level stuff.
I mean, I think it's the next step for conservative media.
Media, entertainment.
They're not going to let us into
movies,
Hollywood.
Cinema, yeah, and forget these theaters too that take your money for liberal causes and all this kind of stuff. There's other ways to distribute. I mean, Daily Wire's done that consistently. So I think God, I hope Blaze will go that way.
Well, I'm really proud of Steve. He is
Me too.
One of the smartest people that I know.
Yeah.
And I consider him a very good friend, and I'm just really, really proud of all he's accomplished in the last several years.
He's such a genius. I mean, he's like a kid, right? He's like a little kid, passionate little kid. And I don't mean that in any way of putting him down. I mean, it's just I like it because he kind of has that enthusiasm.
You know, he is kind of a movie buff.
Yeah.
And for him to be as proud of the movie as he is, it tells you right there.
Yeah, he wasn't going to put up with mediocrity.
Right, exactly.
And it's a good movie. I want it right. I want it right now because I want to be able to show my family.
I know. Well, I was so upset that I couldn't make it because the screening was at the same time that I taped my show, and so I was just like, I've been dying to see this, Steve. We've been talking about it for what feels like forever, but going back and forth about it. How can I watch this?
Yeah.
Tell me when or where. And he's like, well, we might be, taking it somewhere else later. And I'm like, but I want to watch it now. How can I watch it now?
Well, Glenn didn't show up for that screening either, so I don't feel so bad about him skipping my show. So
Okay.
they're doing a new screening probably just for Glenn. Maybe. Who knows? I need some privilege around here. But I'm telling you, pray for this project and pray for Steve because I'm telling you, this is going to be a project that it's such a powerful film with such a powerful message that there's going to be some spiritual obstacles.
Oh.
There's going to be some spiritual warfare that happens around this movie.
I completely believe that.
This is the smartest film of apologetics for the spiritual world we live in that most powerful I've ever seen.
Wow.
The logic there, the dialogue, the script, I mean, just the way it's delivered, it's powerful.
God, you're giving me such FOMO.
It's powerful. I'll tell you what, it made me rethink the death penalty. That's how powerful it was.
Wow.
Seriously. Hang tight. We'll be right back.
Really?
Let me just say that I love y'all. I love y'all. I love you, Sarah.
Love you.
Pretty and pink.
Oh, thing. Oh, this old thing?
Yeah,
Thanks.
just threw something on.
Yeah.
Look at you. You're all, yeah. Anyway, shopsarahg.com and AmericanBeautyBySarah.com.
Thank you.
Woo, we got one more episode to do Thursday night. We'll try to get off the rails.
People are going to miss us when we're gone.
We'll be back in 23, I hope.
I mean, that's what I was going to say. We hope.
Yeah. We'd hoped that Glenn would be with us tomorrow, but nonetheless, you don't tune in for him anyway.
You're stuck with us.
Just for me. I love y'all. I really do. I appreciate you. Come back tomorrow night and let's party. Love you. Bye.